Been having internet problems the past couple days, so I hope that that doesn't come out and start happening again. That'd be bad. Got me a bowl of tortilla chips. I've been snacking for a little while. Hungry. Quite possibly made the worst fucking drink I've ever made before. I wanted something like tropical. I wanted to relax a little bit. And we don't really drink in this household. So we don't really have much to make anything with. And so I have rum. And I wanted to make something, but like that's all that we had, except for like lime juice, lemon juice, whatnot. Like we don't have much of anything, so we couldn't really, like, if you wanted to make a margarita or a daiquiri, you can't. And here. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll try making something. So I did a shot of rum, some lemon and lime juice. And I wanted to add, like, coconut flavoring. So I grabbed a thing of, like, we have coconut cream. We have that in the fridge. I kind of mixed that in there. I wanted to add a little bit of almond. Just a touch. But the problem is when I added all of that together, it wouldn't melt. It wouldn't, like, mix together as one drink. It all just sort of congealed together in the bottom of my glass. And it was quite possibly one of the worst fucking things I've ever drank. Not good at all, would not recommend. And if you haven't noticed, I haven't made the new transition thing from Monster Manual on Monday. I was wanting to make it, but I never got around to it. I was working on it, and I have been working on it. Let me see here. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick. Where is it at? Wait, I saw it just a second ago. Monster Compendia, Monster Manual. I believe it was. Manual texture? Is this the one? Yeah. This is the one. Well, this is what I gotten done. I had this displayed in the previous tutorial video. I got a good bit of it done. But the problem is that, well, I need to finish texturing these areas going up and whatnot. I need to make the back. Which really, all the back is just... Let me look at that Monster Manual. I have it right in my lap. It'd basically just be all black by normals? Yeah. All this stuff here. Plus all that. So just all this stuff, just copied onto the back. That's really all that is. And then on top of that, there's this sort of red area here is supposed to be kind of like scaly. It's like a dragon hide or some kind of leathery something or other. Okay, so this music's been looping for too long. Let me turn looping off. I'll continue with the rest of the thing. Before I started streaming, a couple people actually followed me. I don't know if this was before or after I put out the last video, but I'll just play their alerts here real quick. Thank you for all following me. I appreciate it. Nice. Yep. So thank you, Happy Mr. GBJ, Doug Mendio, and Ma'am 122. Yeah, there you go. Alright. Now to begin with, we're going to be doing a creature called the Aboleth. This is the first entry of my Monsters Manual. Let me flip to it. I'll read you an excerpt from the Monsters Manual, as well as display an image. So if I can go and find an image real quick. I don't know if this is the most fitting music considering the contents of the creature. Let me find a... I think Aboleth, Forgotten Realms, yeah. I like the 3rd edition picture. Ooh. Actually, can I copy that image source? Yeah, copy image address. There you go. Alright. Alright, so this is an entry from my 3rd edition Monsters Manual. I'm from more Porpoo. That was probably a mistake to have that tortilla chip right before I was about to start reading. Now I have to chew the fucking thing. Cool, refreshing water suddenly erupts in a storm of reaching, grasping tentacles. The tentacles connect to a primeval fish, 20 feet in length. From its bulbous head to its crescent-shaped tail, 3 slitted-shaped eyes, protecting a bony ridge, are all set atop one another in front of its head, which remains just beneath the surface as it attacks. Right, so this here is an Aboleth. This is a creature that these are creatures that have been here since like the beginning of time. These are kind of like Cthulhu, a little bit. They're like elder creatures. Alright, I'm gonna read a little bit more. Aboleth is a revolting, fish-like amphibian found primarily in the subterranean lakes and rivers. Despises all non-aquatic creatures and attempt to destroy them on sight. Aboleth has a pink belly, 4 pulsating blue-black orifices line the bottom of its body, and secrete gray slime that smells like rancid grease. Ugh. Yeah, we got some rancid grease in our skillet. He refuses to clean that. My mom refuses to clean out the skillet. You know, weeks old bacon grease in there. Ugh. Alright. It uses its tail for propulsion in water and drags itself along with tentacles on land. An Aboleth weighs about 6,500 pounds. This thing weighs as much as a tank. Aboleths are cruel, highly intelligent, making them dangerous predators. They know many ancient and terrible secrets, for they inherit their parents' knowledge at birth and assimilate the memories of any they consume. Aboleths are smart enough to refrain from immediately attacking land dwellers who draw near. Instead, they hang back, hoping their prey will enter the water, which they often make appear cool, refreshing, and clear with their powers of illusion. Aboleths also use their psionic abilities to enslave individuals for use against their own companions. Aboleths have both male and female reproductive organs, so their Aboleths are hermaphroditic. There you go. So Aboleths have both reproductive organs, and they okay, let's see here. Aboleths produce. I don't know if Tasmanian Tiger is the best music for this. Hold on, let me see if I can find something better. Skyrim dungeon music. That'd probably be way better. I think this would be better. So that being said, how do you get Beneath the Ice, Skyrim. This is probably fine. Okay. Aboleths have both female and reproductive organs. They breed in solitude, laying 1 to 3 eggs every 5 years. These eggs grow for another 5 years before hatching into full-grown Aboleths. Although the young are physically mature, they remain with their parents for some 10 years, obeying the older creatures utterly. Aboleth speak their own language as well as Undercommon and Aquan. So, how long are you gonna stream for? I'm gonna stream until 4:30. That's normally how long I stream for. How you doing, Scollins? Now, Aboleths will fuck you up. We have a story about Aboleths. In one of our campaigns, it was Grant who was running the campaign, and he has this sort of Middle Eastern setting where we were all kind of trapped and enslaved as gladiators, where we had to kind of figure out how to escape, and we had a total party kill where it was kind of catalyzed by an Aboleth, but we were killed by troglodytes, which was an entirely different creature. What happened was like, okay, I forgot to catch your streams, gonna hop back on after class. Oh, nice. My nephew's playing Undertale. All that. So, basically the story is that we were a bunch of adventurers. For reasons or other, we ended up enslaved, and our memories wiped, fighting in a gladiatory arena. Your vids make me want to learn Blender. Rock on, man. Thank you. And what happened is I forget what we were playing. I know Jared was playing a druid. I don't know what the fuck I was. I want to say I was a rogue. I want to say I was playing a rogue. I don't remember who all else was playing, but basically, and Ethan was playing fighter? Mage? I can't remember. I don't even remember who all was playing, but the fact of the matter is what happened is we came to the realization that our water supply for the entire arena was connected to the Underdark, which is an entire subterranean portion of Forgotten Realms, which is, Forgotten Realms has an Underdark, but it's like a area of Dungeons and Dragons where everything is subterranean. There's like the Dark Elves live down there. There's like all kinds of weird shit. There's Mind Flayers, Aboleth, all kinds of really, really bad things down there. You don't want to end up down there. So we're like, yo, our water's coming back oily. This is disgusting. What the fuck's going on? So we go down, we kind of go down into the Underdark unknowingly at first, and we realize, oh, there's an entire, like, fucking cave system down here. We're kind of unwilling slaves to this entire, like, gladiatory arena thing. Why don't we try to escape down here? We kind of realized that was a bad idea kind of immediately. But what happened was, as we kind of came down the well. It was like a long elevator thing. It's hit free fall immediately when we hit like the lever to go down. Just, we were like falling for like minutes at a time, which should have killed us, but fantasy. So we got into the water and we were like, yo, this is bad. So we swim ashore, and he describes basically this thing coming out of the water. He's a long fish, 3 eyes, and we all run away from it, except for Ethan, and he's kind of like the teddy bear of the group. So he kind of just walks up to it. It's like, hi, my name is blank, and introduces himself. Immediately gets mind washed by this thing, because Aboleth, they're mind controllers, and they want to use land-dwelling creatures as their slaves. And one of the things about Aboleth is their slime. They have something really fucky. All right. So Aboleth produce slime on their body, and I'm going to read exactly the attack that I'm about to describe. Slime. A blow from an Aboleth's tentacle can cause a terrible affliction. A creature hit by by the tentacle must succeed a DC 19 Fortitude save or begin to transform over the next 1d4 minutes. So, the skin gradually becomes clear, slimy membrane. An afflicted creature must remain moistened with cool fresh water or take 1d12 points of damage every 10 minutes. The slime reduces the character's natural armor by 1, but never less than 0. The save DC is based on Constitution. So what happens is this thing fucking turns you into a merfish, like a mer person. So it turns you into a merfolk, and then it brainwashes you to be its slave. So this thing will fuck you up big time. And then on top of that, it kind of exudes this sort of slime, which in the campaign we kind of realized that the water was kind of weird and oily. Based on what I've understood, this how Grant explained it, we probably should have been really fucked as soon as we drank the water, but this is what is described about the mucus. An aboleth underwater surrounds itself with a viscous cloud of mucus, roughly 1 foot thick. Any creature coming into contact with and inhaling this substance must succeed a DC 19 Fortitude save or lose the ability to breathe air for the next 3 hours. An afflicted creature suffocates in 2d6 minutes if removed from water. Renewed contact with the mucus cloud and failing another Fortitude save continues the effect for an additional 3 hours. DC Constitution, DC is saving throw of Constitution. So your physical ability and your physical health. So, Aboleths will fuck you up. If not, physically, mentally, they'll just steal your brain. So, an Aboleth, let's see, what's the challenge rank? 7. So, they would kind of expect, what that means is that they expect a party of 4 level 7 characters. This is a fair fight for it. So, it would be expected that a party of 4 level 7 characters could take on an Aboleth. But the problem is Aboleths are ridiculously smart. They have what's their intelligence? Where is it? Special pull. Okay, here's their abilities. A strength of 26, dexterity of 12, Constitution of 20, and intelligence of 15. I don't know why their intelligence is that low. Most characters end up with way higher intelligence when you roll them out. I had to figure that'd be way higher. Although then there's the Aboleth Mage, whose intelligence, well, their stats are 28 in strength, 16 dex, 24 constitution, 20 intelligence. That's more in line with what I figured it would be. 16 wisdom, 14 charisma. Why does charisma go down? Regular Aboleths have a 17 in charisma. I have no idea why that is. Well, the fact of the matter is as soon as Ethan tried to contact the Aboleth, immediately got brainwashed, and we were sent to do something. I forget what it was, but we ended up getting attacked by troglodytes, and we got party wiped. Everyone died. So that was a big oof. Jared never got to play his druid character, and just kind of sucked all around. Alright, but that's enough talking about Aboleths. Let's build one. So let's see here now. I have somewhere a compendium of references. Here we go. We got a whole bunch of references here. Okay, let's first of all add a cube. Whoop. First world origin. Add a cube. We got a whole bunch of references for Aboleth. Aboleth. So we'll just kind of look at a couple of them. This one here is from the first edition of Dungeons and Dragons. Turn all that off. Let's see here. This is what they look like in the original, way old, olden version of D&D. All right, frequency. It's been so long since I've seen anything older than 3.5, so this is kind of describing what this is. The dice 8, inlayer percent, pressure type F. Like a lot of these things, I don't really understand what they mean. Alignment, lawful evil. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, size large, so they're about as big as a horse. Psionic ability 200. What the fuck? Oh, all this stuff right here is describing psionics as like an actual thing. So psionics, like it used to be like an extremely large game of rock paper scissors, where it's like you have to have certain defenses and certain attacks, and if you defend the wrong thing, or attack, if you attack with the wrong thing or defend with the wrong thing, you just get like turbo fucked, like your brain explodes. Alright, so we got... I believe this one's a mini. Woo. Yeah, this one's like a little plastic mini. It's on like a little stand or whatever. And then... this one from Pathfinder? Yeah, they described in the... in the manual that their eyes were vertical. This one here, the eyes are displayed horizontally, which still looks good, right? Not as alien looking though. Got... Ooh, I keep hitting the wrong damn thing. Got this one. This one has 6 eyes instead of 3, which I think makes it a little bit more alien. I think this one here is just the 3rd edition Monster Man. Yeah, this one's just the art from the 3rd Monster Manual. If I flip open to the entry, I got that exact image looking back at me. Who did this? Huh. It's signed, but it's like AR after SW. I'm not entirely sure what that means. And we got this one right here. Got little fins on the side there, instead of the normal tentacles I see everywhere else. We got this one. This one's wielding a bone. That's funny. This one's kind of got like hypnotoad eyes. Now I think, I can't remember the Animate, but I think part of, there's like a ridge that go, yeah, right here, I think. Like this right here is actually its brain, and it kind of go, like as it gets older, it expands further and further down its spine. And an Aboleth, basically, they're like galaxy brain, just about literally. So they inherit every aspect of all of their ancestors' memories. So all the way to the beginning of time, when like the world was formed, and like all of the, like every aspect of the universe was made, they can relive just about all of it. So if they wanted to, they could just enter VR in their brain and just live out like ancestors' past lives. They can just do what they want in terms of memory. And this is my last reference. Here's another Aboleth. Got a bunch of tentacle fellows. Got more. Alright, I want to make it so that way I can only view this in a certain mode, so that way I can look at them when I want to. Be nice if I could do that. Unfortunately, I'm probably gonna have to go and do this to all of them. Have to turn off perspective view for all of them. There we go. Take all these and we'll move them. Move them. Good. Move them into a new collection. We'll just call them Refer. Just finished watching your latest view. Very helpful. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Refer. If I can spell right. There we go. There's our Aboleth. I think I'm gonna mostly try to replicate the 3rd edition Aboleth. Seems very, well, it's what I'm looking at, so. Okay, so now the question is how do we go about replicating it? So it's a fish. You got a fish fella. Suppose now I just kind of start making a fish. I'm gonna place some loop cuts like this. Oh, one thing I should probably do. This thing is, well, like most anatomy. What's the project you're working on? Unfortunately, you missed my long, probably 10-minute long thing on what I'm doing. What I'm doing is something called an Aboleth. This is a monster from the Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual that has been around since like 1st edition. So these are, to summarize it, psychic fish that have been here since the beginning of time. They eat brains, and they know basically all of history. And they live underground, so. Okay, so let's turn on a mirror modifier because most anatomy is. Wow, he's really had a glow up since 1st edition. Oh yeah, so 1st edition, 3rd edition. I don't know what the art looks like from other stuff, but these are just kind of things I've kind of pulled. They're described as having vertically aligned eyes. Some of them, like 3 vertically aligned eyes. Some of them have 6. Some of them have 3, but they're horizontal. You know, whatever. So most anatomy is aligned, kind of mirrored across the x-axis. Although nothing is perfectly symmetrical in terms of anatomy. If you know your internal organs, you know that that's certainly not true. So we turn on clipping. And we're gonna have to replicate some of this stuff. Let me take a look. So it's kind of triangular in shape, just a little bit. So methinks maybe bring that up, bring this in, that in, that. That's kind of the profile I'm thinking about. What the? Stop that. Yeah, I've been wanting to bugger. Ah. My controls are trying to fight me. I've been wanting to do an animation project at one point or another. I still have some sort of sitting, sort of waiting for me to come back to them, but I feel more obligated to get my tutorial videos out than actually working on the animation project. Okay. Alright, let me think. This one would probably be the easiest one to replicate because it's very eel-like, just tubular, just down the side. But I kind of want to capture the more, you know, interesting portions of it. take these faces here, bring it back, maybe bring this back a little bit. That down, bring this in. Now, a fish's anatomy, if I understand, if I'm recalling correctly, unlike the human or mammalian type of anatomy where the spine kind of bends, back and forward, so the spine would be aligned if we, take it like this. Kind of be expected that the spine would bend, like this and whatnot. But for fish, the spine kind of flows along it bends in the X and Y x-axis because it needs to flip back and forth to propel itself forward. Although I say that, I look at the first edition one, and it's very clearly shown that its spine flows up and down like that, like a dolphin. It does the same thing there too. Well, the other. Very peculiar. But that's kind of one of the things that that kind of separate fish and dolphins. One, on top of its lack of scales and needing to breathe oxygen. The spine of the dolphins are different. They don't work the same way. Okay. That. Maybe let's just sort of bring that all the way up there. In some of those, he looks like a fleshy submarine. A little bit. In the manual, he is described as being surrounded in 1 foot thick layer of mucus. So they kind of just have like a slimy layer that surrounds it. On top of its, I think it's supposed to be fleshy. It doesn't have scales. It shouldn't have scales anyway. So it's supposed to be very slimy, not scaly like say this one or what else? I think this one's probably one of the more accurate ones. This one's the flesh submarine that you're referring to. Yeah, it's supposed to be mucus. Okay, I think on top of it being like this, it should get thinner as it goes down. And then we'll have a portion describes its fin as being crescent-like. What does it say? It says explicitly about its crescent-shaped tail. That being said, I can't find that. Although I did find that its slime smells like rancid grease. Ugh. This. That out like that. Now let's take this and cut across like that. Yep. This. Yeah, this Skyrim music kind of sounds more like Silent Hill, which, you know what, I'm not really opposed to. Let's take this, pull this out a bit. That's pretty Crescent-esque. Select all this, scale it down, pull it. You know what? Hold on. I got an idea. Go up like this first. That. And let's select all these. Turn on proportional editing. Oh, let's set this to sharp, I guess. Maybe round. Would round work better? Beer, maybe? There we go. That's pretty good. Has fins that go along its back. Look at what I'm looking at. You got this sort of thing that goes along it, like that. We haven't even touched the fins and whatnot. Whoop, not that. Just sort of playing around here, maybe. Let's delete that vertex. Just data face. Maybe that'll be fine. Okay. Kind of has this protrusion comes out of his face like this. Let me show you that right here. Kind of right on his face right here. This part kind of comes out into this, whatever this is. This kind of comes out like this. Maybe bring that down a little bit. Kind of looks a little bit like a dolphin, like this, like the. I want to say snout, but that's not really what it is. Oh man, there's so much insane Aboleth art. Yeah, these are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are only 9 things I've ripped offline. Yeah, this one kind of makes it look a bit like Cthulhu. Although the eyes are wrong. At least according to the book.
It does. I swear this book talks about its vertical eyes, right? Bolted fish-like amphibian, underbelly, or pulsating. No, that's the slime. Tail. Smart, immediate attacks. I could have sworn it described that its eyes were. Wait, three slit-shaped eyes protruding a bony ridge. I suppose it never described it as horizontally, vertically aligned, but in the book it's described, in the picture it's displayed as being, vertically slit like this, right? That's how it's shown. Let's take this. There we go. Nubs like that. Okay, now we gotta figure out how we're gonna do the tentacles or whatever. Because we don't really have portions where we can just sort of blow out from that. Suppose we can bring this in. Maybe. That. Let's see here. Let me take a look. How far? Yeah, not very far. Let's turn off these for a hot second. Well, I ain't how you do it. There you go, extras. Alright, so let's scale on every axis but that. Let's hit merge at center. There we go. Ugh. That seems way too small. I made it way too gnarly and short. Let's. That maybe? That might be good. Alright, let's turn those back on. Actually, I can just sort of... I can skip between them by hitting number pads. Let's see here. So that tentacle's made. Of course, I think I could. A little bit bigger like that, maybe. Oh. Alright. Got a lot of tentacles. You know what? I'll place one more loop cut right there. That one's more of a thin. Let's do that one. So we'll just that. I think I put that in the wrong place. That like that. That and merge by distance. Get them fins going. This part kind of sticks out like this a little bit, actually. Kind of the opposite like that a little bit. Let's bring that back a little bit. There we go. Got place for its eyes. Yeah. One area right here. But this area right here will be for its tentacles, I suppose. This, that up. Okay, maybe if I hit that with the smooth brush, it'll kind of help sort that out. Needs to be thinner. Turn that smoothness down a little bit. It's being a little bit out of control. These are about maybe as long as that one. Put some of that. Merge that to the center. Hide everything else. Let's get these down to business. Scale. That. Something like that. Maybe pull them out a little bit. Not like that though. Figure out which is elastic? No. Nope. Here. I think my problem is that they're kind of flowing this way. Let's fix that a bit. X0. There we go. My animator is playing. Stop that. Whoop. LX0. There we go. Scale 0. There we go. Let's bring these back a bit. That's pretty good. Wrong selection. And like that. There we go. There we go. Got some tentacles. Kind of got some coming out of this as well. I think I'll just turn off clipping. Merchant center, maybe. That. How many? Huh, only 327. Not that bad. Do I need these edges? Well, kinda. Turn clipping back on. I don't want to. Ah, you're so stingy with triangles. Live a little. No! I must be perfect. Sorry. You know what? Here, maybe. Hey, that looks pretty good. Then I'll just take this, cut to right there. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I kind of wonder when our current dungeon master is gonna throw something like this out. Well, actually, I don't think Curse of Strahd has Aboleth. At least I don't think they do. Yeah. Alright. Now, how's everything looking? Everything looks alright. Now, I'm going to start doing something that I'm going to use in the next tutorial video. We're going to do coloring, but the way that I'm going to do the coloring is going to be different than how I was anticipating. So there are several ways to go about coloring your model. One of them obviously being texturing. However, there are other ways to go about texturing your model, and that doesn't involve, well, hold on, crap. It doesn't involve actually doesn't necessarily mean you need to texture everything. Some things only require, just very basic coloring. So I'll steal that color. Yeah, I like that color. So let's. Why the hell did I do that? I'm still not done. I need to make a palette or something. So one of the ways that we're gonna go about coloring him first is using Vertex Colors, and then I'm gonna try a different approach, something that I've seen done with the Nintendo 64. That's texture paint. Vertex paint. There we go. Is there a way to make a palette? Yeah, there is a palette. Here we go. Aboleth. Whoop. Aboleth. Don't forget the jiggle physics on that soft, squishy underbelly. Yeah, I could add jiggle physics. That would be great. Don't worry. All right, so we'll call this Aboleth. We'll take that color. That's a good color. And a little bit of red. I think my I took the load-bearing book from my bookshelf. All my book collection just sort of toppled over onto my tankard and shit. And yeah, let's get a little red. There we go. Yeah, just all of it just went kaput. Okay, so let's actually save first. We have our Aboleth. We'll save Aboleth, and then we're going into a different version. So we're going to be texture painting or vertex painting. We'll just Aboleth paint. All right, so this creature is mostly green. So to go about coloring all of it, there's no real brush. There's no like fill tool, so you have to hold Shift and hit K, and we can fill up our entire Aboleth just like that. So the way that we're going to go coloring is we're just going to start. Well, one way we can do it is we can go into edit mode and just select everything. There we go. Okay, this one's more of a red color, so we'll just Shift K, do that. Yep. Yep. So instead of assigning materials to our character, because one of the things that I've seen, and this is the thing that I used to do a lot when I was just starting, say we wanted to like, okay, we need to have our character or whatever. We need to color it, and I don't feel like texturing it, so we'll just do something simple. So we would make a new character, well, new material, we add a color. And I was like, well, shit, now I need the tentacles. They need to be, you know, whatever. So we'd select all of them, and we, okay, well, if I make a new material, and we make it orange, and assign it to that, well, we would have it, but really, we don't really need to do all that. We don't need to make as many materials as we're doing, because all we're doing is assigning color. You don't need to tell Blender to render these things any differently than the rest of it. So all we'll do is we'll just have one color. Go back to this mode. I'm gonna do some more painting here. I'll talk about that here in just a second. Let's just assign some color to all of this. Here. You know what? Let's maybe make it a little bit brighter. This color. Add some yellow to that. There we go. Painting onto the faces in Blender. Yep. You know, let's just make these. Hit Shift K. There we go. So what's happening here? Instead of texturing our character exclusively through image or texture colors or whatever, using an image to color our character, we're using what's the word? Vertex colors. So basically how this works is imagine each individual point, every individual vertex is like a point of a gradient, if you know how gradients work, right? So let's say, you know, we got all four of these points right here. Let's maybe hide everything else. So basically what we're doing is we're assigning a color to the what the hell's happening here? Okay, there we go. I got it working again. It's acting funny. So basically what we're doing, so if you can imagine, let's take these 2 points, right? So what we're doing is we're assigning, I thought my cat came to. We're assigning colors to those points. So let's say this is orange and this is green. It'll blend a gradient from this point to this point from orange to green and vice versa. So it will blend from here to there, it'll blend from here to there, and if you'll notice, there's actually a blending from here to here, even though that there is no actual edge going from here to there, because that's kind of the road that we're using to blend the colors. So it calculates the colors from here to here, here to here, and here to here. Now the reason why is because there is an implicit edge that goes from here to here, because even if we're modeling in quads, which are four-sided shapes, the simplest geometry that any model will be constructed of is triangles, because that, you know, I was going to ask about, yeah. So let's say we do it here instead. Now, instead, what's happening is it's blending from here up here and across here, but it's not blending from here because this geometry is being blended as if there was an edge marked from here to here, right? So if you were, you know, doing texture painting and, you know, you're not getting the effect that you want, say, you know, you want it to blend kind of like this, but instead it's blending like this, where it's not going all the way across. You would have to force it to read it as if it has that geometry. So we do that. And now you can see that it's shading it like we need it to. You can also kind of see the edge there too, just a little bit. Now let's unhide everything. Now it needs to blend into that like that, so we'll just, there we go, that looks all right. Maybe, yeah, like that. And the benefit of using, one second, let me adjust my chair. Now the benefit of using vertex colors over texturing is obvious, in the sense that it's calculating the color gradient as opposed to being limited to a pixelated color texture. Because if this was textured, we would be using, we would be limited to the colors that the texture would provide, whereas in here, it's being calculated by the computer and blending it as it is. Also, I kind of wanted to show off my my shading node that I had made for a fella. He wanted a he was looking for a way to sort of limit the color depth of the blender to make it look as if it were being forced to render in, what's it now? The color depth of the PlayStation is what, 15-bit? I'm pretty certain of that. I think that it is. Anyway, so one of the things he wanted me to do was he needed a way to do that, so there would be color banding and whatnot. I'll get to that in a second. So we got our textured thing done. However, it's not being rendered as if it is actually. It doesn't. We just sort of painted it, and it isn't assigning it. So this is where in the tutorial video we're going to have to go into the shader nodes and I'm going to be describing them. So this here is the most well, quote unquote, most basic shader that we got. We'll replace that with the diffuse because that's what we would be using anyway. So we have the diffuse color. In Eevee, the roughness literally doesn't matter. It does nothing. So all we have is color and normal. So one thing that we have to do is we need to tell this to use the vertex colors that we just made. So the way that we go about doing that is we need to load up something called attributes thing. So our vertex colors that we've just made are being stored right here. So let's name this Aboleth colors. So to get that, we need to go in here and just for simplicity, copy and paste it right there. And if I slap that in, now it's using the colors that we just got done making. So that's nice and easy. Now here's I'm gonna explain some of the nodes here. So you can notice that there are several different types of different colored connected color nodes. So here's the basics of it. So I think this is basically a visual scripting environment, and all this is, varying abstracted varieties of code that describes how our surface should be shaded. So to color code, what we're doing is all these green nodes are shaders. So this contains basically everything. So it involves color, normals, which are like surface details, like how light reflects off the surface, and various other stuff like metallic, roughness. If we were talking about the principled shaders, which I discussed in the UV mapping video, look at this. It's got a lot of stuff. It's got subsurface metallic, specular, roughness, anisotropic, sheen. It's got a lot of stuff. So the basics of it is anything with a yellow node, that's color information. So that would be any kind of picture. It would just take that as it is. Gray nodes is basically non-colored data that ranges from 1 to 0. So what it would take, it would be a grayscale image that if we were to, what it reads if it was an image. Let me bring up a color wheel. Actually, I can bring up the color wheel right here. Hold on. So if this was a grayscale image, what it's reading is the value, right? So we can see the base color right here. So what it's reading is anything about the image. So if it has a value of 0, it means in the image it would be black. If it was white, it'd be 1. So if I gave, let's see here, for shifting, let me make an image here, right? So this is black. Let me just sort of speckle it with white or whatever. So all these areas that are black, these would be 0, and then it slowly kind of comes in, gains in value until it hits white, where this is 1. This would probably be easiestly demonstrated on a plane, since this is a basic image. So I'll just do gray. Okay, we don't have a light, so let's give it a point light right here of 100. There we go. That's pretty good. So if we took, what did I name that texture. Let's just call it value test. We go. So we're in here. Oops, gotta have an image texture. That's what that is. There we go. Now I grab that value test. So if we assign it to, do you have any major projects you're working on? I've had visions in my brain about several projects that I've been wanting to work on in terms of animation, and I had one that was a shit post that I wanted to get out, but I haven't gotten around to it. And I've been brainstorming ideas for another project that was just a sort of. It was kind of like a sort of surrealist dreamscape type thing. It would be like a short series that would come out in like videos of 1 minute or something like that. But yeah, I'm getting distracted. I can talk about it here in a second. Let me explain more about the values. So this image that we have right... Oop, did it save it? It did not. That's cool. Awesome. Okay. So we go back to Untitled. So that image that we just made, all those white areas are values of, all the black and white is values 0 to 1. So we pop it in the metallic. We can see those areas that we put at 1. I don't think that's mine. Hope it's not. All these areas are being fed information that are, so all the black area is, here if I can, well, so all these areas that are 0 is non-metallic, and all the areas that are 1 are metallic. So they're more shiny by the physical nature of metal, physics, blah blah, whatever. So we can do the same thing with roughness. So if it's black, it means it's like perfectly polished, perfectly smooth, and we can see, you know, this is the light being thing, so we can see all the white areas. It's hard in the sense that the surface is like very sandpaper-esque granular. It reflects the lights in different directions relative to the actual, so light's coming in, and it hits the rough portions of it, and it bounces it this way, that way, whatever way. But if we hit it in this perfectly smooth area, it all bounces in the direction that we see it. So it all bounces towards the camera. And then there's Specular, which Specular is basically similar to roughness, but not exactly. Whereas 0 Specular means that it reflects no light. At least, not... Well, all things reflect light, really. Just sort of varying degrees. But the more white it is, the more mirror-like it is and reflects the surrounding areas. Maybe if... Well... Yeah, you can see how it reflects the surrounding areas if we have a... Maybe if I pop this in the metallic as well, that'll help show that off. I'm gonna try to make a perfectly weird surface. Fuck it. Let's just do that, that, and that. There we go. So if it's perfectly metallic, perfectly specular, and perfectly smooth, it acts as a mirror, right? So this is what you can make a kaleidoscope if you wanted to. You could you're a cylinder. out of 3 vertices. Delete these faces. And then, was it material 0? What material was it? Material 1? Oh, material 3. Yeah. Then we have to add an HDR to make this work because it doesn't do it in material display. And there's also other stuff we have to do to turn that on. This. Let's see here. That, turn on this environment. I need an HDR. Here we go. Let's go space. Fuck it. It acts as a kaleidoscope and whatnot. And I think we have to turn on other stuff too. Oh! Oh, thanks, Zip640-420. Thank you. Okay, I'm getting like hella distracted. Let's open up outside with trees. The house. Where's that Aboleth? Here we go. Actually, you know what? Let's add a sun. That strength of 5. Ooh, too much. Starting to feel like one of those Ducky 3D loops. I haven't watched his stuff in a long time. Okay, so we got the color. Yeah, we need to unwrap this fucker. Object, shade, smooth. There we go. Let's merge by distance, clean up any vertice problems. Well, actually, this stuff could probably be shaded flat. Doesn't seem to like to play shaded smooth. It kind of gets all funky. Okay, so let's start unwrapping. Gonna pop that off because really all this is just a flat plane surface. Same for this portion right here. Perfectly flat. Oop, not sharp. Mark that as seam. There we go. Now let's hide all these sort of one-off pieces. I'm gonna pop this off, go down that. That's good. Mark a seam down that. That. Let's see how this is doing in the unwrap space. Unwrap. Overlay, stretching. Doing all right. Ugh. That didn't seem to work right. What I might do is I might do a... Do I want to do a follow active quad? I don't think I do. I'm kind of just feeling lazy about that. I don't really... What is this? Oh. Why is... For some reason, that's not being a part of that. Even though it is. It's like the tip is being broken off for some reason. Wait. Oh, I think I know why. Yep, there's an internal face. Yeah, that's what was throwing it off. Bam. There it goes. Okay. Fixed it. There we go. That's good. Use everything. Try and decide how I want to texture this thing. I do definitely want to use these Vertex Colors. Alright, so one thing that I'm going to show off. Hold on, I'm swallowing.
Ah yes, beefsturger. Delicious. Oh boy. I cannot wait to go to McDonald's and get beefsturger.
Yep. Oh, I'm glad I didn't inhale a piece of tortilla chip while I did that, because that would have hurt a lot. In fact, it's kind of sitting in the middle of my throat right now. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to mix the color data of the Vertex Colors with the texture of whatever we're about to provide. So there we go. Slap that in there, and we're going to be mixing by value, I believe is. So let's do new image texture 256 by 256. Set this to color grid. That. Oopsies, I did a UV grid. My bad. Well, UV grid is first. In fact, it kind of shows off what I'm doing. But let's do color grid, and then I'll do stuff with it. Color grid 256. Do that. Set that to closest. Go into this. Let's set the saturation. There we go. All of it's gray. Basically, what we're doing. That was uncanny. I've practiced a long while with that voice. I've not included it in my my tutorial videos because I've never had an opportunity to. So what we're doing is we're taking the grayscale information from our texture and we're applying over it the color of our vertex data. So that way, we get a higher depth of color that from the vertex colors without losing any sort of value from the texture itself. So basically all of our coloring will be in grayscale. But we'll get to keep the value of the colors here. So we got, yeah. Only problem would be with the let me apply the mirror modifier real quick. Then go. Oop. So this flows all the way down. Now I got a fish fillet of the Aboleth. And there's a lot of parts here that I'm not particularly sure are what. 1 second. I know what those are. What's this? Ah. Huh? You haven't upgraded 2.9? 2.9 out. If Blender 2.9's out, I'm gonna shit my fuck. Hold on. Whoop. Blender 2.9. August. Is it out? It just came out 5 minutes ago. Bruh. Well, I guess we're gonna be looking at fucking Blender 2.9 then. I will shit all of my fuck now. Bruh. Bruh. Ah. What the fuck?
Oh boy, time to get jiggy with it.
Oh, has it got an installer now? Like, I still have my file. 1 second. My file is still 2.82. I haven't even changed the directory because I was afraid it would fuck literally all of my stuff. Because it would change the directory of all of my textures, all of my everything. Now I have to swap to an entirely different system. Ah! I didn't even get my next tutorial video out yet. Fuck! This has shot me in the foot. Must be all that Ubisoft money. You mean Unity? Are they getting paid by Ubisoft now? I'm gonna have to make a new directory, man. Both? Oh, really? Ubisoft is a contributor as well. Contributor. This is some nostalgic ass music. God, I don't even. 1 second. I gotta know. I don't even know what the fucking features there are that are in this shit.
Blender 2.9 2.9 is just a few weeks away from its official release, and as always I've been testing Blender through its alpha stage so you don't have to.
What the fuck?
The software went into feature lock recently, which means the devs are currently just polishing the features and removing the bugs before its official release. So here's 6 of my favourite features coming to Blender near the end of this month. So first up, we have a totally new sky texture. Blender's old sky texture was okay for some uses, but it was a bit basic. You could control the hue and brightness of the sky, but that was about it. Now, in 2.9, we have this new option in the sky texture called Nishita. It's a much more accurate method of modelling light scattering, and you can create some awesome sunrise effects like this. You can affect the way that light is scattered just by altering the thickness of the ozone.
They did fucking Lion King music, really? Great, now my video's gonna get claimed.
Change your altitude all the way from sea level right up to outer space. The sun disk itself can be altered in size and position, and you can of course even keyframe all of this stuff to create some really nice day-night cycles and time-lapse effects. Blender 2.83 implemented an awesome new Viewpoint Denoising feature, but it was limited to certain graphics cards, meaning that most people couldn't use it. The same feature will now be available to everybody because it supports CPU rendering. It works incredibly well, but it can introduce some viewport stuttering like this when you use it on very simple scenes. To fix that issue, you just need to go into the settings and increase the number of samples before the denoiser takes effect. I've found that on simple scenes you want to have it set to about 10. This feature's been really invaluable to me the last few weeks just for previewing scenes quickly and getting an idea of what the final render's going to look like. It's actually quite amazing how quickly you can turn a noisy mess into a really presentable image. And of course, the longer you leave it running, the better your image will look. There's also a new system in place for fixing the Determinate shadow issues on objects and cycles. You've probably encountered this problem before when you have a low poly mesh and the shading has all these artifacts where the shadow hits the light when you have smooth shading enabled. Previously, the only workaround for this was to add more levels of geometry, but that isn't always practical and it takes 3 or 4 levels of subdiv just to remove the artifacts from this figure. It results in a really high poly mesh, which is really unwieldy. In 2.9, we now have this shading option in the Objects Property tab. It allows you to manually control the gradient of shadow over the object, which means you can hide the transition between the light and the shadow. Obviously this is slightly less physically accurate, but it does look much better than a jagged edge. There's also been several improvements to the UV editing suite. One of my favourites is this new option for correcting face attributes. In previous versions of Blender, textures would stretch and deform if you altered the mesh or added any extrusions to a face. This was a real pain if you textured an object only to realise that it needed to be resized slightly. In 2.9 this is no longer a problem. You can expand or extrude faces all you like and the texture will continue to display correctly based on your existing UV map. In edit mode, there's a really helpful feature I use all the time where you can hold down Control and it'll draw the shortest path between 2 verts that you select. Now that same feature works in the UV editing space and I've found that's really helpful just to draw new seams quickly.
Ooh, that's nice.
Map. You can also rip UV maps into 2 by pressing the V key when you have some faces selected.
That's nice.
One of the most requested features on the Blender community site has always been an overhaul to the modifier stack system. In previous versions of Blender, it was always very fiddly to move modifiers around the stack. Doing something simple like moving a modifier from the bottom to the top of the stack required you to chase the modifier all the way up, moving it one step at a time.
That's a pain
That
in the
could
ass.
get really confusing if you have multiple modifiers that all look the same. In 2.9 there's an option to move modifiers straight to the top or the bottom of the stack. You can duplicate them or apply modifiers even when the tabs are closed, and finally you can drag or drop modifiers into any position you like. If you open the modifiers up, you'll also notice that most of them have been cleaned up so they look much less cluttered. And finally, we have another long requested feature. The Eevee motion blur system has been totally rewritten from the ground up. The first version of Eevee motion blur was extremely limited. You could only apply it to camera movements, not to object movements, But in 2.9 we have full object motion blur. It has all these
That's
different
pretty.
settings that you can tweak. I've found that it looks really good, and it renders out surprisingly quickly considering it basically renders multiple versions of the same object. So that was 6 of my favourite features coming to Blender 2.9. Let me know in the comments what features
else
you're
is
looking
there?
forward to the most, and don't forget to
One second. Let's see if there's other stuff.
Blender 2.9.
Yes. Hey, Blender.
Hi, Remington from Southern Shoddy 3D here. Just when you thought Blender couldn't get any better, the devs found a genie, made a wish, gained divine dev powers, and here we are with Blender 2.9. Let's go through all those new features in less than 5 minutes, and if you want a full rundown of the list, take a look at the link in the description below. Let's get started. Modifiers now support drag and drop reordering, making it much easier to organize large modifier groups. Menu options are now located on the right side of the panel headers as well.
Yep.
Scene statistics are now available in the 3D viewport, and you can enable options
shit,
in the
it's
status
bleeding
bar
into my
at the
mic.
bottom. A new tool, Extrude Manifold, lets you automatically split and remove adjacent faces when extruding inwards. The Bevel Custom Profile now supports Bezier handles. The Move Adjacent status bar at the bottom. A new tool, Extrude Manifold, lets you automatically split and remove adjacent faces when extruding inwards. The Bevel Custom Profile now supports Bezier handles. The UV Editor now supports more selection functions, including Edge Ring Select and Pick Shortest Path. You can now press the V key to rip UV edges, giving you more control over your UV maps. Curve handles can now be hidden, selected, or all, and the Ocean modifier now can generate maps for spray direction. A new Save Shape Key option allows you to apply a modifier as a shape key without removing it. If you're impatient, then you'll be happy to hear Blender's getting even faster. Intel Embry is now used for ray tracing on CPU rendering, significantly improving render times on scenes with motion blur. Optics is now available on all GPUs with support, Maxwell or higher. NVLink support for CUDA and optics, which helps when rendering larger scenes. 2 new hair shapes to choose when rendering, rounded ribbon for fast rendering, and 3D curve for accurate close-up renderings. If you don't have optics, you can now use Intel Open Image Denoising in the viewport. The new sky texture accounts for altitude change and ozone absorption, meaning there's even less reason for Blender users to go outside to see the real sky. Per object Shadow Terminator offset settings have been added to avoid artifacts on low poly meshes, which is ultra exciting for those low poly artists and people on lower spec machines. Eevee now supports motion blur for mesh deformation, hair, and has better precision. Sky texture has also been added to Eevee. Multi-res sculpting is now fully supported, and you can switch between subdivision levels with displacement information smoothly propagated between them. Multi-res can now rebuild lower subdivision levels and extract its displacement. It can also now create smooth, linear, and simple subdivisions, meaning any subdivision type can be created at any time. And I guess creating the amazing cloth brush wasn't enough, so in an effort to show off even more, the devs flexed and made it so that now you can run an entire cloth simulation in sculpt mode. The pose brush has 2 new deformation modes and a face set FK mode utilizing the face sets to simulate an FK rig. A bunch of other improvements have been made to the tools. Reference the link in the description for you detail-oriented viewers. A ton of little things add up to make Grease Pencil feel even more polished, including onion support for annotations in the video sequencer, layer mask and use light properties are now animatable, new material selector in a context menu using the U key, new option to put canvas grid in front of objects, keyframes are now accessible using Python, reproject stroke that allows you to keep original strokes now, annotate line tool supports new arrow types and has a mouse stabilizer, new
Jesus
randomized
Christ,
effects
guys,
in the brush
slow down.
options, improved selection of strokes and fill paints, there's a new texture mapping modifier for UV data, a new restrict visible points build parameter, new anti-aliasing options in the pixel effect.
He's about to explode. Yeah, take a drink. Christ.
Okay, let's keep going. Tons of fixes to import and export options have been implemented, but in short, Alembic USD and GLTF 2.0 have all seen improvements to their import-export supported functions. New operators and types have been added to landmarks when using Blender's VR function.
Christ.
Full scene copying has been improved. There's a new ray length setting which limits how far rays can travel when baking. A new lens distortion mode has been added to motion tracking, allowing you to solve motion in Blender and composite in Nuke. Frame interpolation has been added to the speed effect in the sequencer. There's some new additions and changes to the Python API that I'm too dumb to explain, but a full list can be seen in the link in the description for all you dev wizards. OpenVDB fluid caching will now cache in a single cache frame file per frame, and several bug fixes and UI tweaks for a better experience. And now Cloth has a new option to apply a pressure gradient to emulate the weight of contained or surrounding fluid. Rigging has seen some advanced improvements, with many more properties being overridable with library overrides such as constraints, modifiers, and camera object data.
I can imagine.
A new depth graph variable has been added to the drivers, allowing drivers to get to the current dependency graph. For those that actually organize their files, one of the Blender's best add-ons has seen a number of new features making it even more useful than before. The Collection Manager has various new options to make organizing your collections in the viewport easy as ever. As usual, there are hundreds of bug fixes, minor features, and improvements, which of course can be seen at the link in the description below. And why don't you show Blender some love and support Blender by joining the development fund.
Well, time to start an entirely new tutorial series. We're gonna move from 2.8 to 2.9. Of course, as soon as I release the Blender 2.8 tutorial series for PS1 graphics, I go and get shot in the head. Alright, let's install the new Blender. I'm assuming this is an installer, right? Yep. Next. Yep. PG Matter gonna perk up when he sees the tracking upgrades. I'm sure. Alright, I don't want to put that in that folder. We're gonna... Here, can I go to the D drive? Can I please? Yep. I put that all right in there. This is gonna take a minute. I'm gonna get me some water. I'll be right back. Ah, crap. Yeah, install. All right. Finish. Well, I suppose let's try fucking around with Blender 2.9. I'm assuming they're backwards compatible, right? Blender theme dark. Yep. Select with right click. Load 2. Yes, do that. Thank you. Well, visually, it all looks the same. All right, let's save our Aboleth. Close out of that tube. I didn't. Let's pin this version of Blender. Unpin this one. All right, let's open up that Aboleth. Assuming it's all still compatible. And there's that. Okay, so where was that shading thing? Viewport display, in front shadow bounds, all edges. Shade smooth. Yeah, we're getting problems with that. The question is why is there a problem with it? Normal's flipped. Second. Calculate outside. Yeah, the normals there were flipped around, so that was bad. All right, let's go back to my music. I don't turn off the engine. Okay. So my question is how did they do that effect with the viewport shading to sort of mitigate these sort of artifacts going on here? Diffuse value. Okay, so we got some stuff going on here. That's definitely a change. Let's try an entirely new material. Set this to principled. Oh shit, you can animate textures now. Interesting. So I could, if I wanted to. Why is he all shiny? Oh, I had the right. Oh, I can also animate those properties. Interesting. I don't think anything broke. So here's our textured Aboleth. Looks good. Alright. So yeah, so now we can animate color properties, which is neat. So if we wanted to, we can go from... I think you could always animate color properties, but like... Yeah, I was in the middle of explaining something, but that's long fucking gone now. I got like, my brain got exploded. And I'm a little upset now, because I'm not sure whether or not I need to... Like, fuck, I was doing a tutorial series in 2.8, now it's already updated to 2.9, fuck. I mean, I think it's largely the same. That ain't that bad. These portions right here are being read as separate from this stuff right here. Slightly annoying, but whatever. What the hell is this? Oh, that's the fin on the top, right? Okay, let's just sort of start compacting our things together. There we go. Y-1. Scale Y-1. That. Now, what is that? Oh wait, those are, yeah, right. Those are things right in his face. Go Y-1. Go. Y-1. Now we just gotta go about moving these to be pretty well, like, pretty close to each other, but not exactly. Take that 90 degrees because that went along its back. This was pretty close along its back. Huh. Suppose so. And all that. Yeah. That seam needs to go. That seam needs to go. Oh god, it all got fucked. Well, actually, no. Keep everything pinned. Unpin those, unwrap them. Did it go all the way around? Huh. That's interesting. I don't think it used to do that. Well, it do now. Merge that over there. Mark those seams. Yep, got him. Scale y -1. There we go. Okay, UV. Average size. There we go. That's good. Okay. So now let's get back our color stuff. Attribute. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Yeah. Good. 1 second. Gotta go in here. Copy that. Whoop. Accidentally copied what I wasn't supposed to copy. There we go. Nice. My question is how does it... Where was that option to fix the lighting artifacts? I don't remember how he was talking about that.
Blender 2.9 is just a few weeks away from its official release, and as always I've been testing coming right with Blender 2.80.
No, not denoising.
Or when you have a low poly mesh,
How you fix
shading
it?
has all these artifacts where the round for this was to add more levels of geometry, but that isn't always practical, and it takes 3 or 4 levels high poly mesh just to remove the artifacts from this figure. It results in a really high poly mesh within the object's property tab.
Okay,
It
properties.
allows you to manually
Okay. I thought. I don't see one that says shading. Visibility, motion path. I don't see that. This week. Yeah, I don't have that. So maybe it's because I'm using an older model. Here, save. Object, shape smooth. Custom property, viewport display. Nope, none of that. Visibility. Nope. Motion paths, instancing. Nope. Nope. Nope, none of that. But don't have that artifact that he's talking about. Maybe if I move some stuff. There's that artifact thing. Fuck did he do that? Blending, refraction, viewport, custom. The fuck? Yeah, I don't got that feature. So I don't know where the fuck it's hidden. .2.9 Blender. What was it called? What do you call it?
You've probably encountered this problem before when you really present.
Oh, Terminator. Really? Where the fuck is it? Not under shading, no. I don't have that. There's supposed to be a thing that says shading right here, and I don't have it. So, you know, that's super cool. Where it is, I got no idea. That it. No. Transforms, origins, workspace, shadows. Resolution, stereoscopic output, metadata, nope. Render layers. I don't think it's render layers. Scene, units, nope. Ain't gonna be any of that. I just don't have it. Where it is, no fucking clue. So, the one thing I was interested in testing out, I don't fucking have it.
Image. Also a new system in place for fixing the Terminator shadow issue.
Fuck this, I'm gonna use Google. Nicosia is being a pain in the dick. That's 4 years ago. The fuck's the feature, yo? Getting irritated. Where the it's supposed to be in. It's supposed to be right here. Relations, no. Collections, no. Instancing. Motion path. Visibility. Nope. Shadow, nope. None of that. Ugh. Well, I did have it shade smooth. Still ain't there. Some of that. I mean, this is, I'm pretty certain, being caused by
Oh, has it still got mirroring? I guess I never turned it off. This is what draws people to Blender, the alluring mystery of where the fucking options are. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna have a fucking aneurysm. I saw it in the video, it showed it was right here, and now it is not. So, you know, that's really cool. Okay. How do I apply this now? Ah. Oh, Control A. Cool. I'm not sure when I go about doing this, whether or not I want to keep going with doing it in Blender 2.8 or just make the jump, being like, hey, it's now we're doing it in 2.9. I don't know. Because there's going to be a lot of stuff that I don't know. It seems like switching versions would confuse the audience. It's not like much move. Yeah. I mean, what I think I will do is, like, I'll make a point being like, he's like, alright, gotta do, and it's like, what? It got updated. Fuck! And then it's like, well, I gotta finish out this video series before I move on to Blender 2.9. At least that's how I feel about it. Oh shit, right. I guess I didn't save the last time I was working on it. Alright. Like that, mark the scene. Alt N, calculate outside, there we go, that's all good. How's the UV mapping? Unwrap. On here. You know what? Just take this whole thing. We're just gonna symmetrize it. Symmetrize from positive X to negative X. That's what we need to do. Yeah. Oh, click the wrong thing. There we go. Huh? Oh, I thought I heard the Jaws music. Never mind. No, I don't want to edit the stream info. Accidentally hit something and did some stuff. Okay. Alright, average island size. Let's pack it. There we go. Rotate this 90 degrees. This. Constrain the image bounds. Put this down there. Put that in that. I'm just gonna start merging our islands together so that way they all share sort of same color data.
that. This one's the spine, it goes down here. But those little fang things right there. Here. Put those in with each other. Those are supposed to be the exact same thing. How are those different from each other? Those didn't have a problem. These are. Here's what I'll do. Making sure my things aren't messed up. Oop. Take this. Yep. Slowly start manually doing it since it ain't working normally. But yeah, I think I'll make a sort of joke about Blender 2.9 being out. Because like, yeah, welcome to the blah 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 tutorial for 2.8. Like what? Blender 2.9's out. Cuts to Blender 2.9 being out. Ah shit, and just bleep it out. Because I want to be more refined in my tutorial videos than how I actually am when I'm streaming. Because yeah, it's supposed to be more people friendly. Oop. There we go. Okay, so since all this is being forced into that, we got our UV maps all done for this thing. I've thought about it, and I've thought about using vertex painting, but at the same time, there is a point that I really just need to have the eyes. I think I can make it work. At least this. So shading. Let's replace it with a diffuse BDSF. Whoopsie. Get an attribute. Grab our vertex colors from earlier. Oh, they're simply colored COL now. Okay, fine. Alright, so it's saved, right? They were not. Well, there went that idea. Whatever. I guess that just didn't come over from what I was doing. Set that the closest. 256. 256. Set this to color grid, so let's just get a feel for how it looks overall. That is not a color grid, that is a nice. I'm so used to color grid being the middle option now that the UV grid's there. I'm all kinds of messed up. There we go. All right. Let's swap to texture mode now. It saved my palette, but wait. Kind of saved my palette. It has the green color I had. One second. There we go. Swap.
Vertex paint. Here we go. Oh, it saved my Vertex paint palette. Yeah, okay, cool. What the hell ever. Why you do this? Okay. Where did my monster manual just go? There it is. 1 second. It's on my bed. There we go. Let's look at my thing. Oh, that's right. It has a pink underbelly. I forgot about that. It explicitly says that in the monster's manual. I believe I forgot about that. Okay, so let's just select all of this. Shift K. There we go. Okay. Select most of this. I'm very indecisive if you can't tell. I said that I wasn't gonna vertex paint it and then I went back and did it anyway. Where's my brush? Okay. Yep, jiggle physics. Alright, so let's take this, there we go. Might be better to do it like this. Select all of these vertices along the bottom. Oh, not that one. Got a very salmon color. That don't look good. So let's just take all those. Apparently that one got... This got turned, you know, whatever color that is. Shift K. Go. Back to this selection. We're going to start with green. Then we're going to take yellow. Do I have symmetry? I do. I don't know why I haven't been using it this whole time. There we go. Okay. After much personal fucking debate on whether or not I was going to do it one way or the other, suppose I'll do it the way that I was originally thinking. So we'll set this to value. Then we gotta take the name of this, put that in there. These were supposed to be assigned green.
Alright, Shift K. And I'll swap back to texture. Mesh, shades, smooth. Where's that at? Okay, then we're going to, and we'll just call this so all the color is being pulled from Vertex Color. This is just going to be the detail that sort of feeds into the Vertex Colors. That. And then we're going to need a way to give so it's going to mix. Then there's an instance where we're going to need to add our eyes on top of all that. Because I kind of want that to be its own thing. We'll figure it out in a second. Never tried texturing something like this, so it's gonna be a little bit. Let's load up some kind of crusty looking image. Let's open texture masks. This one might be fine. This, pull up our tool. We're gonna move the texture from that. We want it to be a mask, not textures. Oh, this, yeah. Not working. That is the question. It is currently not working. Why is it not working is the official question of the Blender users. Unfortunately, it seems to be the case, yeah. Am I using the wrong image? I can fucking... As far as I'm aware, I can... Why did it change the color back? Ah, fuck. It was working, but for whatever reason when I hit undo, it changed my colors back to the fucking wrong colors. Oh.
frustrating. I think we can just go at it with like yeah. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Okay, I'm pretty damn certain I added a sun at one point or another, but it's not here anymore. Again, I have a bad memory, so. Let's set this 5. There we go. I'm getting close for me to actually start leaving. Oh. Yeah. I'd have gotten done with this damn Aboleth if I hadn't gotten caught up with Blender 2.9 fuckery. Awful. Not Vertex paint, nope. Texture. Select all this, fill that in. So you know what? Let's make it a little bit brighter. There we go. Now, for giggles, if I added red, right, it's only taking the value out of this. Whatever value that this is, regardless of what color it is, it kind of makes it feed the value of whatever vertex colors are, so it doesn't matter. Change our brush to sharp. I need to get out my pencil, my tablet, or whatever. Might be a bit nicer for me. Throw some noise texture over it a little bit. What other images do I got for texturing? Maybe wrinkles. Maybe wrinkles will look nicer. That. Can I rotate it? Which way? There we go. That's it. And it crashed. Awesome. Blender, why? Well, I'm gonna call the... That's what I'm gonna call my ending there, because that's some bullshit. I got the model done. That's what I care about. I'll texture it some other time. Whatever. Alright, hope everyone enjoyed this stream. If you're interested, I believe down below in my Twitch, I have a link to my Discord. I believe, anyway, I'm not entirely sure. It's been a long time. But if that interests you and you want to do anything with that, hang out, that's where you can do that. All my Twitch announcements are on my Twitter. Just saying Twitter kind of makes me cringe a little bit because the prospect of having a Twitter is disgusting to me. I don't like Twitter as a platform, but it works. So with that, I'm just gonna disappear. I'll see everyone Friday when I stream again. So see everyone.